Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. This time we'll take a look at the 1982 Chevrolet Corvette. The worst Corvette of all time, and it's not even close. Yeah, this is interesting. So the C3 Corvette, when it first came out, which was like 13 years ago by the point of 1982, had like 420 odd horsepower, but of course since then emissions and other such things took place, and so by the second to last model year, which is what this one is, the 1982 Chevrolet Corvette made 200 horsepower. That was it. Worst Corvette of all time. So you get C3 looks, which admittedly the C3 does look quite cool, and you get 200 horsepower, so you have to deal with driving around in like a 15-year-old car with an underpowered engine. Who bought these? I have no idea. Who decided they should be in Gran Turismo? That I also don't have an answer for. But I'm glad they did, because again, this car is pathetic. Fully upgraded, it's slightly less so. Front engine rear wheel drive, 366 horsepower. An awful lot of torque, to be fair. 1,295 kilos. Might be one of the lightest Corvettes. Yeah, be interesting to see on this one. We have covered the 69 Corvette 427 Stingray, which is this car, but better. So, be interesting to see how it stacks up compared to that. Anyways, this car is going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track in order to set the best time it possibly can. What do you even do with the gearing on this? Yes, it's going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track in order to set the best time it possibly can. Our current leader is the Mitsubishi GTO LM Edition. That's at a time of 27.223. This is not likely to beat it, let's put it that way. From what I remember, the standard Stingray is like a 31.6, I think, so I don't think this is going to get anywhere close to that. That made like 500 odd horsepower. This doesn't. What can this be? Aston Martin DB6, 32.390. I think that's probably doable. The Aston was not very good to drive. In defense of the Aston, this isn't either, but still. Seems slightly more usable. I love the giant exhaust. 32665. That's not bad. Being dragged into the wall there as I tried to look at the leaderboard to figure out how not bad that was. What is in this? 4-speed. So you got a 4-speed with 200 horsepower. Thing is, everyone like laughs about the Iron Duke Camaro. I'm fascinated by the Iron Duke Camaro, by the way, in case you was wondering. I love the Iron Duke Camaro just because of how just insane it is to me that they made something with 90 horsepower and called it a muscle car. And it did like 0 to 60 in 20 seconds or something like that. But I've got to be honest, this, I mean, it's 5 class, so I mean, I'm sure it was quicker than that, but it can't have been much quicker, surely. This is atrocious. It really is. This is abominable. But the thing is, it's like Corvette guys like, oh no, actually, early C4s are the worst, you know, they make like 250, and it's just like, yeah, but come on. Come on. This car lost half its power during its entire life cycle, and I get it, that's what emissions do, but Jesus Christ. Like, talk about, you know, I think this is sort of, this and those early C4s is definitely where Corvettes got their reputation. Now, I think they don't suffer with as much today, mostly because the sort of C8 and those sort of last edition C7s sort of tried to move the Corvette away from this sort of nostalgia-baiting nonsense and appealing to dentists and more like, well, I said dentists, no one's ever had their teeth worked on who owned a Corvette before, but you get my point. You know, they moved away from sort of burly retirement guys, and it's cars like this that really started that stereotype. It is not good to drive in, by the way, in case you was wondering. Admittedly, I could have drove a little bit better in this, but don't think it would have saved it that much, I will be honest. This is an atrocious car. It really is. I'm glad I've had the chance to drive it though, because like I say, it is hilarious in how awful it is. The race mod is cool though. I will say this is a cool looking car, definitely. But you can hear how utterly reluctant it is to do any form of speed. Yeah, I would say there is a little bit of time in there. You might have been able... What's that, DB6? I don't think it'd have been beaten the DB6. Could have maybe gone towards, like, Plymouth Cuda, but I think that would have been your lot, if I'm being honest. 32.635 place it into 258th place. Goes in between the Mitsubishi Galant VRG Touring, which is terrible, and the Toyota Altezza AS200, which was terrible. Cars I mean, it's not the slowest V8 we've had. The BMW 740i, Plymouth GTX, they are all slower than this, so that's a bonus. But I mean, Plymouth Cuda's quicker than this, and to be fair, I think that Cuda probably could go quicker these days, because I think that was like the 4th car to go around, something like that. It is light years away from that other Stingray. 69 Stingray, 31.657. So, yeah. In... how long's that? 13 model years, they managed to go over a second slower. Corvette! Yeah. The worst Corvette of all time. I think I made my case pretty clear. And I don't think you can even remotely argue it. Anyways, that is it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when I'll be driving something that isn't as awful. Until then, farewell.
Knowing just where my hopes and dreams are going, I'll only you back. Got up in a wall that you are not part of. Eyes on the slit of your father with love.